Hola Smarties, Rob here, your local internet guru. Today we're going to be comparing the Galaxy Tab with the Nook Color. There's been a lot of talk about these things being the iPad killer, whether or not. But they're awesome little devices, great prices, and we're going to go through each one of them, compare them side by side. So, with your accessories, with the Samsung Galaxy Tab, to be real honest, there's not a whole lot with it. You get your charger, your proprietary charger, I might add. You've seen these. It's a mini USB on one side, the proprietary cord on the other. The battery in it is wonderful, lasts all day long. It charges pretty quick on the wall. It will not charge on a USB port. You can plug it into USB, of course transfer files, things like that, but the battery in it will not charge over USB. You're not going to keep killing it. It says it's not charging. It actually does, okay, but it's going to take 6 or 8 hours. You're going to want to plug it into the wall to charge. It takes about 2 hours, lasts all day, 15-16 hours. That's real time. I don't know, I forget what the website says, but I haven't had any problems with it. It's not like your phones. You're not going to have to charge it up in the middle of the day like your Android phones. Wonderful, wonderful battery. Can't say enough good things about it. And your headphones. And that's all you get. The Nook Color, pretty much the same deal. One thing I will say is they put a cord in here long enough to mess with. The Galaxy Tab comes with about a 2-foot charging cord. I think that's just an atrocity. For $500, you would think they could give you a little bit more cord. But that's your accessories. Not much to them. You're going to want a case for both of them. The Samsung Galaxy Tab, the guys over at TechCrunch are beating this with a hammer. I'm not going to do it to mine, okay? But this is what they call Gorilla Glass. Really, really supposed to be strong stuff. It's supposed to be invincible. I don't believe there's anything that's invincible, so I'm not going to smack it with a hammer. If you're interested, Google TechCrunch. They're doing it. They can do it all they want. Not to mine. We talked about the screen already on that one with the anti-glare. Really, really nice screen. Alright, so we'll get started. Start with the Galaxy Tab. It's by far my favorite. The Nook Color is wonderful as well, but this is my office in my pocket. Of course, the auto rotate, your familiar Android lock screen when you wake it up. On the outside, basically all you have are 2 hard keys, your power on and your volume up and down. It's missing a dedicated camera button. I'm not a big fan of that, but the camera is a decent camera. It's only 3 megapixels. You'll find more on some of your phones, but the camera app allows it to take high definition video, 1020 video. It's got the LED flash, 3.5mm dedicated headphone jack. Your expandable SD card expands up to 32 gigs, 16 gigabytes of memory already on it for the T-Mobile Tab. The Sprint one, I don't believe comes with any. You'll have to check that out. Searching something there real quick. But on the bottom are your speakers, your proprietary cable. I don't know why Samsung did that, but can't complain too much. It looks like an iPad cable, but it's not. Don't plug your Apple cables into this. They're identically backwards. Thought that was a little odd. Your soft keys on the bottom. Oops. It auto rotates, so you can't always find the bottom, but your soft keys are on the bottom. Your home button, your menu button, your back key. Samsung's been getting a lot of heat about their browser being a little bit laggy. I ditched the browser just because I had Dolphin browser on here from the get-go. So I don't have any problems with it lagging whatsoever. Pinch to zoom works really, really well. Flash, because it's running 2.2 for oil, Flash works completely. Actually a decent browsing experience. I'll pick this thing up before I sit down at my laptop. I just can't say enough good things about the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Of course, it's got Android Marketplace, all your apps, really configurable. The guys over at XDA are making it where it will take phone calls. It's got a video chat client that comes with it. I don't care for it. Doesn't do much for me. But the 1 gigahertz processor and the browser with the built-in flash, this thing will do, I mean, it's amazing. Any kind of lag you're seeing, I promise you, is only because of my internet connection. Kids, of course, are playing games in the other room. But at $349, this thing, to me, is much preferable to the iPad. It's smaller. It's well, it's Android. It's not it's not locked to all your Apple funny things that Steve Jobs likes to put us through. Now, if you're an artist, this isn't going to do it. Okay, Apple has been around a long time. They've got all kinds of apps. You know, let's be honest, it doesn't do what the iPad can do. But for me, it's marvelous. I should mention the calendar app that comes with it. Samsung, again, has done, of course you can't see it, but trust me, Samsung has done wonderful things with their calendar app, the integrated email app, the messaging app, all good apps. But again, the Android Marketplace, you can do whatever you want. The Kindle, sorry, been doing that all night. It's a Nook. It's not a Kindle. It's what I think is going to be replacing the Nook. A lot of the dedicated Nook people are saying they don't like the color screen. It's the same screen as the Galaxy Tab, the 1024 by 600 resolution, 169 DPI. Again, the multiple home screens. Barnes & Noble has got their own software running on this, so it's not your average Android experience. You've got one dedicated home key, always brings you back to the home menu. So it's a little different to get used to than your phone, but it's a good e-reader. I've got the screen brightness turned down on both of these for the sake of the video camera. But it's, your text size is totally configurable. It comes, when you download a book, it'll come the way the publisher wants it to. That's not what I'm looking for. Like I said, I've only had a night to play with this, so don't get too upset that I don't know what I'm talking about. Where were we? Oh, our library, in our books. So you pick a book. That text is huge. It's got soft keys on it where you hold down a word, Barnes & Noble software will pop up. You can share it to your Facebook, your Twitter, highlight words, look them up, take notes. I haven't played with much of this because, to be real honest with you, I'm not much of an ebook reader. This text is huge. Somewhere on here, there it is your configuration for your text. Publisher default is the way they all come, which I think is kind of big, but you can go anywhere you want. You can control the margin sizes. I think it's a pretty neat feature. I don't know why you would want more margins, but you can. Got a bookmark soft key up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little blue tab that'll bookmark it, bring it back to where you were. Again, the dedicated hard key. Anything you buy from the store, this is called, I forget what it's called, oh, the Today Shelf. Anything you buy from the store is going to be located down here in your Today Shelf. It doesn't have pinch to zoom. Well, actually, some things have pinch to zoom. The browser does not, because it's only running Android 2.1. An interesting note about the magazines, let me find one that doesn't have an ad here. When you get to an article, there's what's called article view. So you pull up the page, article views on here. It makes it really nice for picking out your articles. Initially, I wasn't happy with the way the magazine's laid out. It's kind of like zooming in on a PDF. It just was hard to read. But once you realize the article view comes up, it makes it much nicer. The magazines, it's weird, but the magazine, to buy a magazine is $6. To subscribe to them is $1.99 a month. It's, again, seriously tied to the Barnes & Noble bookstore, which I'm not a big fan of, but the guys over at XDA are working on them. And if you're into hacking and things like that, I believe you'd be really happy with this as an Android tablet. Out of the box, it does not come with your Android marketplace, which I think is, well, let's face it, that's not a good thing. They haven't got any Android apps to sideload to it yet, but it's still, for $249, this thing is an amazing book reader. On the outside, again, your hard keys, you're going to have the volume up, volume down, power, your 3.5mm headphone jack. It does play MP4 movies. I don't have any on here to show you, but you can't see the brightness and the crispness of the screen. One thing over the Galaxy Tab it does have, it's got an anti-glare for reading outside. It works great. I've already been outside checking it out in the full sunlight, and that's one of the biggest drawbacks the Kindle guys are saying. You know, this thing, you're not going to be able to read it outside. Well, the Kindles and the original Nooks don't have the backlit screen. You can read this in bed. Again, I think it's just under 12 ounces. It's light enough. I mean, you don't want to read with this in bed, I promise you. This thing is a little bit heavy. It's about 16 ounces. So it's a little heavy to hold up. You will get a little bit of arm fatigue if you're trying to read on this. But it's a tablet. I absolutely love it. I'd prefer it over the iPad. You know, it's 2 inches lighter and a whole lot nicer for me than any Apple product that's out there. This one you can actually sit with and read. Of course, you're going to want to put it in a case, but it's got that added anti-glare screen to it. You can look at it in the direct sunlight. It's not a problem at all. They both have the auto brightness. They absolutely work perfect. Haven't had any problems with either one of them. Again, they're not iPad killers, but at the price point, they are wonderful toys. So there you have it. I'm Rob, your local internet guru, and thanks for watching.